seen in World Cup qualification just has to be insane, man. Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Italy. This match should have been a clear-cut win for Italy. They beat Northern Ireland. They were on good form, but all it came down to was penalties, and apparently Donnarumma just did not know how to save a ball. That's what most people think. But if you actually watched the match or seen the highlights, then you would have seen that Bosnia were actually they were actually the more dominant team in the match. After Bastoni had his Araujo moment where he got a red, the game just fell apart for Italy, and all it took was just one goal by the Bosnian player, whose name I will not try to pronounce because, well, if I do try to pronounce it, then I most probably will get it wrong. Just so that I can, just to give you an example, the player who scored it was actually Bahrak Tarevic. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. But anyways, actually, Tabakovic was the player to get the goal. But Keane actually started off the game with a 15th minute goal. Arguably one of the most unexpected moments of the game. Because this player, although he plays for Fiorentina, for some reason he becomes prime R9 for Italy. Yeah, whatever it really matters. Apparently not in this game, but like, you get the point. Anyways, honestly, after seeing the highlights of this match, just shut down just shut down the country's national team for a bit. Let them have a little breather to see what would happen, because losing to Bosnia, although don't get me wrong, Bosnia are a decent national team. For what they have had to go through, they're a pretty good national team. But Italy, having to lose to them, that's just an embarrassment, to be honest. 4-time World Cup winners. And honestly, props to Bosnia for actually standing up against Italy. But actually, arguably, the man of the match has to be the ball boy, because he took the sheet that had Donnarumma's preferred patterns that he had against the Bosnian players. And also, this is not the only match that had some crazy drama in it. Turkey versus Kosovo. Kosovo, currently, as it stands, are fighting to be a country. But, in my opinion, they probably should be a country. But, Aktor Koglu scored the only goal in the match. But Kosovo, after only being a FIFA member for 10 years, making it to a World Cup qualification final is absolutely insane, in my opinion. Especially for a country like Kosovo, having your best player be a Mallorca player is actually diabolical, to be honest. And them being able to stand a chance against Turkey was insane, in my opinion. Not enough people talk about how insane this match was. And even that's not the only match that had drama in it. The only match that didn't have drama was Czechia v Denmark, and Sweden v Poland. Poland are known as the team that only goes to World Cups through playoffs, but here they didn't show it. Zalewski and Swiderski were the only players to get goals, but Elanga, Lagerbielke, and Gyökeres got 3 goals respectively to win the game 3-2. And Sweden, although they got 4th in their group, not winning a singular game and tying twice to Slovenia, they still somehow made it to the World Cup because of their Nations League ranking. And honestly, what this match has shown me is that Graham Potter is just the man for the job, I guess. Sweden were not doing well with their old manager, and you can see that in their performance in the group stage. But with players like Bergvall, Gyökeres, and Elanga, the list goes on. They have so many good players. There is no reason why they should have been struggling so much in their group. If anything, they were probably expected to get first place, but they got last. But they were saved by their Nations League ranking, and after beating Albania, they went to Poland with somewhat of a kind of confidence. They lost to Sweden, who beat Ukraine convincingly 3-1. But if you look at what happened the first matches that Sweden played, they uh, they they didn't play very well, to be honest. Only their matches. I don't know why they're not here. Am I just blind? Am I just blind, or is that not here? One second. Sweden. If you look at their matches, they had to play in Slovenia, whom they tied to, lost 4-1 to Switzerland, and 1-0 to 10-year-old Kosovo, 2-0 to Switzerland again, and 2-0 to Kosovo, and tied their second tie against Slovenia. And that just means that them making it to the World Cup is probably going to be the last place team, unless Graham Potter finds something with this team that can make them better. They could very well, like on their day, they could very well be a first place team on their day. But it's just the teams they have to play up against. Japan, who are pretty big underdog, who can do very well against some pretty good European nations. Not to mention, they've done pretty well against South American and African nations too. And they also have to deal with Netherlands, who are a pretty good team on their day too. And Tunisia aren't necessarily the best. This is why I probably have Sweden as second or third. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.